certain areas of the U.S. government are sealed off. National security, FOIA request takes at least 2 years. That effectively rules out journalism, at least daily journalism or even contemporary journalism. And so the U.S., there are now 69 countries in the world that have freedom of information laws that have been active in, say, the last roughly 4 years. But there are a lot of cosmetic transparency situations. I'll give you an example. I had 3 of my students in the International Investigative Reporting class look at 25 Latin American countries and ask for the financial disclosure for the president of that country in each country. And I think we got 2 back. And so you know, they would say that they have a great law, but the implementation of the law was, shall we say, lacking. And that's not just outside the U.S., that's here in the U.S. as well. We have significant problems with the illusion of transparency versus the reality. And then even if you get the information, do those in power act on that information? That's a whole other subject. Too often the information's there, but no one does anything. I mean, Congress is the weakest branch of the 3 branches, and there are a number of congressional hearings that have been going down from the 80s, at least through 2006. Not that hearings are the particular gauge you should use for oversight. But I guess what I'm saying is, we're lucky that we have a lot of advantages over other countries in the world, but there are a lot of things that aren't right and could be a lot better here in the U.S. So as investigative reporters, we're quite fortunate. We're not in danger, and we have advantages others from a legal standpoint, but also even transparency standpoint. We do have better transparency in places, less developed places in the world like Africa. There's almost no documentation available. People have one source and they write an opinion piece because that's the only thing they can write because they don't have enough information, so they surmise and intuit. And it's a different form of journalism because the material is simply not available. So when we look at it in a comparative way, yes, it looks like we're doing pretty well. When you've been investigating the bastards for 30 years, it doesn't look that good to me. I want more information. And I don't want these cases sealed. We investigated all the chemical companies. There was an IRE finalist for best book on toxic deception. We found, that's a long story, but we found that hundreds upon hundreds of cases against chemical companies where people died, the companies would pay money out, but they would seal the records so no one could read them. The judges went along with it. That's outrageous. This is inexcusable. Human lives are being lost or endangered because these turkeys seal them up. So we have problems here with transparency. I guess you noticed I think that. Tell me again your other questions.